So at this point, I'm gonna voice over the video because there was so much background noise going on for the video. I had my son was standing there talking to me. We have indoor pigs and an indoor chicken, and they were being quite loud. The dogs were barking. My little chihuahua was super excited, so he was whining, and it became intolerable listening to this video earlier, like watching the video over to make sure everything was good with it in editing. So I decided I would just do a voiceover on it. It's only like 10 minutes, 10 and a half minutes. And I mean, basically here I'm just talking about how this is my daughter's snake. Her name is Sass. She's a candy python. She had just finished dispatching the mouse, and she's gonna get ready to eat it. But if I can recall from earlier, it took her a few minutes to eat it. She decided to go around and come back. She's a really good snake. My daughter is 12. This is her personal snake. She does take care of it. She cares for it. She was actually fishing with her stepfather during snake feeding time, so she wasn't here for it. She generally does it herself, but I was glad she was gone today so I could actually record it and have it on the YouTube channel so that people could see our animals and the stuff that we have. We have lots of animals. We love animals, all of us here. Some of my boys, my oldest son isn't as in love with animals as everyone else, but for the most part, we all have our own very specific animals that we love and care for. And here she just gets super curious about, I think maybe whether or not she's going to get picked up or not. I don't think my daughter had handled her today because she knew today was a feeding day, and we don't handle the snakes during feeding day. So I think maybe she was wondering if she could come out. And that's why she didn't immediately start eating her meal. But you can just see how she moves around, guarding her food until she's ready for it. I don't know if that's what she's doing. She could be doing that. I hope that next week when I record Sass eating, that it's not as crazy. I might actually start kicking the other animals out of the house so I can record because they're so loud. Here she's just moving around her cage. She will come back very soon and strike on her mouse. She's such a ham. And there she goes. She goes back. She's going to start trying to get her mouse down. Normally, her mouse isn't this big. And when I went to the store to get a mouse for her, normally she eats hoppers, which is just slightly a little bit smaller than this. Like, this is an adult mouse, and hoppers like a teenager, I guess you could say. That's normally her size right now, is hoppers, but they had no hoppers, so I just tried to get the smallest adult mouse they had. Sass is on a live feed. She refuses to eat frozen, and we tried various ways to get her to eat the frozen. She won't. And I remember trying for several weeks to get her to eat a frozen mouse, and she wouldn't. And then the second I put a live mouse in there, she strikes on it so fast. As you can see in the beginning of this video, she literally just, the second she sees it, she's ready to eat. So I think that with this mouse being bigger than normal, her feed day next week will be on day 8 and not day 7. We'll give her another day. I guess we'll see how well she processes this big of a mouse, and then we'll know where to go from there. And she looks like she's it looks like she's having a little bit of a struggle with it, but not too much. Had she started struggling way too much, I might have tried to get it out of there somehow. I really don't even know. I mean, if anybody knows how to get a snake to stop eating something if it's hurting or choking them, I'm going to look that up because I'm actually unaware of how to do it. But here she goes. It takes her several minutes to get it down past the head. And here I was talking with my son about, what it looks like when the snake's eating. And he has a rather large bearded dragon in his room. And his bearded dragon eats hornworms and crickets, and we get the really big crickets, and this thing will sit there, and this bearded dragon will eat 4 or 5 crickets at a time, huge crickets just down. Same with his hornworms. If you don't spread them out in the cage, or not the cage, in the terrarium, when you drop them in, he'll literally, if they're still stuck together, he'll gobble them all up at once. So we've been trying to hide them around so that he can not fight for them, but think about where they are. Okay, and this is Sass. She's still working on getting it down. Normally it doesn't take her this long. She's usually really, really good at getting it down pretty quickly. But again, I know this mouse was a little too big, but I didn't want her, A, I didn't want her to be hungry, and B, everybody's feeding day was today, and it's just so much easier when everybody's on the same day schedule. Alright, and she finally got up over the shoulders, and she's just working it in. I watch my snakes eat, every single one of them, from start to finish, to make sure, especially the live ones, to make sure that when the mouse and the snake make contact, that the mouse doesn't injure the snake. Something I'm not really prepared to handle. So I do watch carefully. I have 4 snakes I feed on feed day, and I commit to each snake individually. If it takes 40 minutes for a snake to finally catch and eat, then that's what we do. Or if it takes them, some time, they want to just hold it before they swallow it. Kind of like how Sass did here in the beginning, where she got it, she smothered it, and then she waited a few minutes. I'm very okay with that. So I'll sit there as long as it takes. It can take me up to 2 hours just to feed 4 snakes. All right, and there she's going. Just getting the rest of it in there. Sometimes I wish they would look at me when they eat, but they just sometimes always just have their backs to me, and I don't want to move around the cage too much because I don't want to frighten or scare them. So I sit pretty still and just watch them and make sure they're doing okay. All right, and that's Sass. That's my daughter Savannah's snake. Super exciting, and we will see you next week when it's time to feed Sass again. So thank you. Oh wait, here's she's peeking. Oh man. All right, we're putting her stuff back in. All right, have a good evening. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we have other videos posted of the other snakes. Have a good night.